so let's have a quick look here. You remember back to arms races and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, there's all this worry. I always go back to the song by Sting. The upshot, the most important line of it being, I hope the Russians love their children too. And we were so worried about nuclear war and nuclear bombs. And it turns out that as bad as the United States infrastructure is, apparently the Russian infrastructure is even worse. And it's almost like they've found a way to bomb themselves. But anyway, this is about China. This is about China and the US. Are we headed for a Cold War? A Cold War with China. Thank you, Hamburglar-in-Chief. There is some worry out there about it. In the past. Oh, we're just innocent trading partners. No problems here, nothing to see. Center of the reading. Then it's the trade inequalities and you basically just go do a search on Twitter for it. Donald Trump, China, or China as he calls it, and you'll come up with everything he talks about how unfair it all is, which it is, but we've set things up. Like all of our recycled, a lot of our recycled metal just is sent to China as scrap, rather than recycling it here because it's too expensive. I mean, we're the ones who've created a lot of our own problems. Base of the reading. Well, they want to keep the party going. There have been a lot of advantages for us, but it's like sugar. In the short term, it's been a few decades or a number of decades. It's been great, but long term, yeah, it's starting to rot our teeth out. It's starting to rot our middle class out. Above the reading, trying to find some. This is carefully looking. How could we tweak? These are more reasonable heads. This is not Stephen Miller up in the Stephen Miller, the Bat and the Belfry. More reasonable heads, but this is America not wanting to change. Near future. This is tariffs on imports and exports. Yes, and the most inept president to ever president ineptly. Is this going to keep on the way he's doing? Yeah. Thinking that, see, I'm doing something. Taking my big stick. But he's on his own and he's in a desert. And what exactly are you going to win? Hopes and fears. This has to do with spying and intellectual property theft. That's what that feels like. This feels like Mercury. God of communication. What other people see? Well, this is the card for America. There's a land of plenty. And we have not been the best stewards, I will admit. Final outcome. I'm not that... Boy, I'll tell you, those are not cards of war, hot or cold. Tell me more, do tell me more. Because Cold Wars are expensive and stressful, and they make countries just spend stupid amounts of money on the military, money that should be spent on more, on many, many other things. Schools, hospitals, bridges, roads, education of all levels. Cold War with China, Cold War with China. It feels like stealing more intellectual property. The relationship, it almost feels like this is the relationship, looks like it's dead, and this is CPR. I don't know why that comes up, it feels like CPR, like when you do chest compressions, that's what that feels like. That's trade. And our vices. We want the cheap goods. We don't want to have to pay more for things, and collectively. And it's hurting us. So Democrats are going to come in, and they don't. Hi, China. Sorry. Don't mind the Hamburglar. He's not here anymore. If you want to talk to him, we'll take a message. But we're in power now, and we're good. We're good. We're good. Here, we have some lovely soybeans. There you go. And they're still stealing our intellectual property, fighting their own people, trying to keep their provinces together. Ooh, that's not nice. Hong Kong, Taiwan, Nepal, you name it. This is what happens in America. There, they're fighting. Hope is rising again, like it did during Tiananmen Square. Those riots. It's not going to end well, but this isn't going away. There are too many people who want China to not be an authoritarian country anymore. It just feels like more goods coming and going, cars, international trade. Yeah, this is all trade, back and forth, and them not paying their people. So what I'm feeling is just more of the same. I'm not getting. It just doesn't feel like war. It just doesn't feel like war. Oh, what's the heartbreak? Hard decisions. Strength. Nostalgia. This feels like America. And this comes back to the Emperor, Trump. And his white nostalgia. Women making better decisions about who to vote for. Instead of just, oh, I don't have time for this. No, it's been a big change. So anyway, that is what I'm getting here. So the good news is I'm not seeing cards I would have seen for like the Cold War between the US and Russia, or the USSR, forgive me. So anyway, that is what I'm getting, and so I'll take this as good news. And right now we can use any good news that the universe wants to give us. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful. And hang in there. There are good days ahead.